Hi y'all, it's Andrea over at Sewspire.com, and today I am here to show you how to craft this awesome planner slash binder cover organizer. This particular project is a cross between my pad folio organizer and the 3-ring binder cover. So some of the defining details are this wide decorative elastic button tab closure. And then on the inside, there is a pocket that you could slide the larger planners. A 1-inch or 1/2-inch 3-ring binder will fit in here. And then on the right-hand side, there is a dual slip pocket for pens and small notebooks, as well as a shallow slip pocket for maybe to-do list or taller notepads, or things that you need to access right away. You could fold your papers in half and slip those in there. And then on the inside is another larger pocket that will hold notebooks as well as 8.5 by 11-inch papers and folders. So this organizer was originally designed to be used as a teacher planner center, but it is wonderful for anybody that still enjoys paper planning systems, and for busy moms and students alike. So this project is a lot of fun because what you're going to get to see is when you layer fabric, you not only can achieve more functionality, but there are several really simple tricks where you can combine just tiny accents like I've done here on the back of this, what otherwise would be a damask print, which is lovely on its own, but a little plain turns into a real showstopper by just adding those tiny accents and pops of color. So shall we get started? Okay, so we're going to begin by crafting that right-hand interior pocket or flap, which will secure your planner or notebook, and that is crafted from one piece of material which measures 13 inches tall by 16 inches wide, and you're going to fold that in half and press that, and then fold over the folded edge one more time to create a lip that is 4 pieces of fabric, and that will add some rigidity and stability to that pocket. And then as a little accent and further definition for that pocket, I'm going to add 2 more layers of material by just taking a 13-inch strip of material, folding that in half. This is about 2 inches wide, and then slipping that under that little fold and just letting a bit of that peep out over the edge. Then I'm going to stitch that in place, and now in total we'll have 6 layers of fabric on that pocket edge and this great little detail. You can see how fun that is. It almost looks like a pillowcase. So we can set that right hand pocket aside, and we're going to work on the 2 interior pockets. There's actually going to be 3 of those. So this first one is also crafted from a piece of material which is 13 inches tall by 16 inches wide. And I cut one continuous piece of fabric and then attached a smaller accent strip to that. So then the fabric was larger than 16 inches, but then I just trimmed it down to 16 inches. If you really didn't want to waste any fabric, you can measure and be very precise. I just think that's the easiest way to create this panel with an accent. So what we want to do first is fold this together, right sides facing, wrong sides out, and then just stitch down that left hand side to create a tube. Then I want to turn that tube right side out. I'm going to center my accent strip. You could position yours a little to the right or to the left. There's no wrong way to do this. I just think it's much prettier if it looks like this was all pieced together. So I'm going to go ahead and center mine and then press that nice and flat with the iron. And I want to repeat that process for the smaller pocket, which measures 13 inches by 12 inches. And I crafted that the same way. I took the 13-inch piece of fabric by 12 inches, attached an accent panel, and then remeasured that to cut it back down to the 13 by 12. I'm just going to fold that in half, right side's facing, stitch down that end, turn it right side out, center or off center, however you like the looks of it, that accent, and press that tube flat. And then here's what my finished left and right hand pockets look like. And those are going to get staggered on that panel so that you can see both of those accent panels like that. What I want to do is craft a pen pocket, which I'm going to attach to this wider panel. And that is crafted from a piece of material which is also 13 inches by 12. You want to fold that in half and then in half again and press that. And what that will do, you'll have raw edges across the left-hand side and across the base. That's going to create two pockets for you with the finished edge here on the right. So take that larger of the two accent panels and position this pen pocket on that left-hand bottom corner like this. You want to leave that top open and you just want to stitch down that right hand side, so you can put a couple pins in that to hold it. And then on the left hand side, which has those raw edges, go ahead and fold that under just a smidgen and then stitch that down to hide those raw edges. Okay, and now you've attached that pen pocket, which has the first layer that you could put Post-it notes or stickers in, and then the back layer which you could put the pens in, or vice versa. And so we have 3 pockets complete for this interior. Now we want to get the interior body panel, and because I am using a home decor weight fabric, I am not going to use any additional interfacing. If you are using quilt weight cotton, go ahead and use either the SF 101 or the Pellon 809 Decor Bond. You could also use quilt batting as well. So on the right hand side, you're going to put your pocket that just has the folded edge and the trim, and that should align nice with the top and the sides and the base there, and that finished edge will be towards the interior. Then take your larger interior pocket panel, the one that you attach the pen pocket to, then position that approximately 3 inches from that left hand side and pin that in place. And then you want to take your smaller accent panel and align that all the way with the left hand edge and the top and the base, so it just slightly overlaps about 2.5 inches that larger pocket panel. And you're just layering and pinning that, and you're going to take and set this all aside while we add the accent strip to the exterior body panel. So that interior body panel and the exterior body panel both measure 13 inches tall by 22.5 inches wide. Now I did not make any adjustments to the interior body panel, but I do want to attach this accent panel, which I just sewed from scraps of fabric 13 inches tall and approximately 5 inches wide, to this panel. So what I'm going to do is trim off 3 inches from the right hand side of this. And then I'm going to go ahead and position that panel right sides facing and stitch that to attach it to this exterior. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the piece that I trimmed off and position that right sides facing on the opposite side and attach that to my accent panel. Then I'm going to press those seams flat and trim this panel back down to the 13 inches, which it should still be, by 22.5 inches. Okay, so now I have this beautiful top panel with the accents in that. I'm going to bring back over the body panel, the interior body panel with the pockets, and then position this exterior panel right sides facing on top of that. Go ahead and pin that all in place. Then I want to stitch across the top and the bottom and this left hand edge using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. All right, go ahead and remove those pins and then just clip your corners on the angle there to get rid of any bulk that you might have when you turn those. And go ahead and turn this right side out, poke out those corners. Okay, you should have a beautiful panel that looks like this. You got the shallow left-hand pocket, the pen slip, the wider pocket for your file folders, and then your right-hand pocket for your binder covers, or your planner slip. You'll notice there are raw edges here. We're going to conceal those, no problem, but before we do, you're going to want to take a piece of elastic and attach that. This elastic should measure between 5 and 6 inches. Go ahead and take the larger of those 2 cuts, just so you have a little playroom. And mine is decorative, so I want that right sides facing up. And I'm going to center that on the edge of that pocket panel. You could also create a fabric tab for this. It's going to attach to a button so that you can close this. And what you want to do is just pin either that fabric tab that you fashioned or this wide 1-inch decorative elastic only to that pocket, okay? And then take this and flip that pocket around backwards, and that elastic should remain in place, and align those sides. Make sure that everything's laying nice and flat in there. And you're going to have to be mindful of those pins, and you're going to stitch this raw edge closed, okay? So I'm going to pull out those pin heads so that I see them, and once I get that on the machine deck, I'm going to go ahead and remove the pins as opposed to stitching through those. Before you trim this, you want to look inside and make sure that you've captured both of your elastic tabs and your interior body panel, this binder or planner cover sleeve, and the exterior. Then you can trim that down to about 1/4 inch to the right of that seam. And now you can flip that pocket right side out. And then all you have to do is attach your button to the exterior of that, and you'll just reach in and sew from the underside. So let's do a test fit and see how this works. So the planner or notebook will slip in that right hand pocket, and then you can put your pins in here and folder files and paper there, smaller things here. And you just fold that over. You'll have your button tab closure here and a truly gorgeous, completely custom planner organizer. So I hope you enjoyed the project. It was an absolute pleasure to sew with you. I will be back next week to kick off our 3-part craft show series. And during that series, we're going to be building several smaller items that would be very popular at a craft show, I'm hoping, as well as setting up what I would like to be the ultimate in craft show displays. We'll also get a chance to talk a little bit about sales techniques, signage, and how to handle rejection at craft fairs. I know, right? That's scary and hard for a lot of people to deal with, and I became a master at absorbing and diffusing, if you will, rejection in handmade sales when I owned my boutique. So I am looking forward to sharing more insight on those topics with you, and I will see you next week. As always, please know the creative genius in me will be celebrating the creative genius in you. Have a beautiful week, everyone.